Do you know that there is a place in the world where there is an invisible wall? You can say invisible wall, which no animal, bird, or fish can cross. Sounds incredible, doesn't it? But believe me, it is true. Yes, today I will take you to a mysterious island where there is this invisible boundary wall, which we call invisible line. Nature itself has created this mysterious wall. This border is between the islands of Bali and Lombok in Indonesia. Even though this line passes by each other, it is never possible for the animals of these two regions to cross this border. Only a distance of 35 kilometers. Even then, the animals of these two regions cannot go from one side to the other. Yes, there is an invisible force here that does not allow any animal to come or go here. That is, it does not allow them to cross this invisible wall. How? Let me explain. Between the islands of Bali and Lombok, on one side there are one type of animal, bird, and fish, and on the other side there are completely different types of animals, birds, and fish. When you reach Lombok from Bali, you will realize that everything you have seen has changed in an instant. Yes, if you go from Bali to Lombok, you will see the entire environment become separate. And the strangest thing about this mysterious border is that it is not possible for any animal or fish other than humans to cross it. Not even a bird can fly. You must be wondering if there is something in this 35 kilometers distance that animals cannot go from one side to the other. To be honest, there is an invisible force behind this border that has kept the entire environment separated from each other invisibly. And to know the secret of this invisible wall, we have to go back 150 years. How and why was it created? And why is it possible? Let's go back in time a little. 150 years.
A British researcher, Alfred Russel Wallace, discovered this mysterious line. He did not know that his discovery would one day shock the whole world. In fact, Wallace's life was also very dramatic. Born into an ordinary family in England, Alfred was interested in education since childhood. However, the family's poverty forced him to leave his studies and travel with his father, who was a cartographer. But this decision was the most important in his life, and also for our world. He started traveling to different places where he got acquainted with the natural environment and started collecting various types of plants, animals, and insects. Thus, one day in 1854, he took a boat and went to the island of Lombok, 35 kilometers away. And after arriving there, he realized for the first time that something unusual was happening. Here, he saw animals that he had never seen before. Komodo dragons, kangaroos, koalas, all strange animals. Where did these animals come from? Why aren't they on Bali or other islands? Wallace and his companions were quite surprised. Here a big question came to him. Why do so many different animals live on this island? He understood that some force was at work. However, this mysterious situation made him think. But it took a few more days to come up with a solution. And during that time, he had to suffer from a strange disease that forced him to rest in one place. And it was during that rest that his first extraordinary idea about this mysterious line came to his mind. Wallace's idea was the first step on the path to making him unforgettable around the world. He realized that what was happening here was not an ordinary thing. The diversity between the animals, birds, and fish of Bali and Lombok Islands was not an ordinary thing. Some great invisible force kept them apart. Wallace said that Bali and Lombok Islands were once connected to each other, long ago, when the world was completely different. At that time, Asia and Australia were together. But when the Earth's temperature rose and the sea level rose, these two continents began to separate and became separate. According to Wallace's theory, the animals in Bali were originally from Asia, and the animals in Lombok were from Australia. That is why the animals on both sides cannot mix with each other, because they separated millions of years ago. This information not only explains the diversity of the animal world, but also sheds new light on the history of Earth's evolution. Wallace's discovery proved that nature itself had created an invisible wall, which remains an incredible mystery to this day.